Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap Session for Wednesday, December the 7th, 2016. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live sessions to take a look at the market macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. This is a subscription room, so if you're interested in checking out, please give me send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to in the pre-market session. Then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the trading day. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence in your own trade plan and your own risk metrics. Okay, so taking a look at what happened yesterday. Yesterday we were looking for a rotational day with a rotation up, and to make a new high was hypo 1. Hypo 2 was a failure to break out of range or a false breakout and then rotate down and move down towards the gap zone. And our third hypothesis was a rotational day with an upside skew, spending most of the time inside of the prior day. It was actually hypo 3 that played out, and we just basically chopped in range with an upward skewed, finally tried to break out, came back, couldn't get back inside the value area, and then we rotated up and we put in that 2212. We stole the VPOC from the lower distribution up into the high of the night, creating a weak high. We talked about this, the fact that we'd likely get continuation up overnight. Well, wasn't a lot of continuation. It only got up to 2213. Missed that all-time high again, and then we rotated down and we came down and we just tested the LVN and bounced, and currently trading inside of this distribution in around that 2208.75. A lot of volume went off in this area yesterday around the 2208.75, so keep an eye on that today. Taking a look at the macro to micro, or let's go to the news first. We do have some news today. We have Canadian Bank of Canada rate and the overnight rate coming up at 10 o'clock Eastern time. This will give a pretty good indication of what the Fed is likely to do next week. We've got NISR GDP estimates out of Great Britain, and then we've got JOLT jobs at 10 from the U.S. The big news, of course, is going to be 10:30, the crude inventory. That should give this market a little bit of a oomph, and currently crude is trading back down towards the $50 mark, and then at 3 o'clock we've got consumer credit. So basically that's the majority of the news. Of course, tomorrow we've got unemployment claims and some news coming out of Europe. We've got the ECB press conference and the minimum bid coming out of the European Union. Take a look at the macro to the micro. I always like to start my day with a basic chart and a 9 and a 20. 9 EMA, 20 SMA, and looking for slope and separation where it's been being violated, and any patterns that I see. Long-term upward trend last couple of years, end of 15, beginning of 16, it was violated. Then we took it back. Now we've got a slope and separation. We've got this falling 3 pattern, which is a continuation pattern on the monthly. And we just put in a new all-time high last week, and now we were challenging it yesterday, but failed to get above it. Going to the weekly, we've started to move down towards the 9 to challenge the trend and close the gap, and basically this week so far we've taken it back, and we're near the high in the open of the prior week. The open of the prior week was 22.08, and we're basically trading on it right now. And then the high, of course, was the all-time high, and our weekly high is only 3 ticks off of it so far. Going to the daily, you can see that we had a nice strong trend up. It came down, tested the 20, now we're above, and we've got a continuation pattern. Setting up for a little bit of a cup and handle. A test of the 9 EMA will take us back down to 22.01 area, and then a challenge of the trend or a violation will be below the 21.91. Remember that 21.91.75 area is important. Our intraday, you can see that we had that news and the big move up and in the Globex, and then we've had a trend since then. We do have a naked cross down here at 21.95. Again, these aren't going to come into play until we break below the 2200, so I'm not really paying too much attention to them until we get down back in the 2100s. Going to the 1 hour, we've got a little bit of a topping pattern happening right now on the 1 hour, and we've broken below the 9 and the 20. There's naked cross again on the 1 hour down at 21.89. Again, not going to come into play. Really want to be watching this area here in the 22.06 and a quarter, 06.50, where we just bounced from. Going to the, remember, and the microcomposite is down here. We shifted the microcomposite VPOC to 22.0350. So if we do get below that 22.06 and a quarter area, you want to be targeting that 0350 and move back into balance. Going to the 30-minute, you see we've got a downward trend. We've got a possible Mr. Sneaky FUBAR. It's not so much a FUBAR, but it is a Mr. Sneaky tech gap. We just left a naked cross above at 22.1075. Mark that in your journal on the 30-minute. But the overall trend is violated, and it looks like we've got the start of a downward trend. A move up to the 9 is going to take us into the 22.09 area. Going to the 15-minute, you can see that this accelerates even further. Good slope, good separation. Do have that another technical gap on the 15, and that takes us up into the 22.09 as well as a test of the 9 EMA and the close of the technical gap. And then going down to the 5-minute, you can see that we've had this strong trend down. They've tried to get above the 9, and so far they're rejecting it on the 5. So could see rejection and continuation. I'd be watching if we can get above the 22.0875.09 area. A test of the 20 will bring us up into the 22.0850 area. Taking a look at the structure, the big picture structure, we have this microcomposite, context. We were in this balance zone for most of 2016 in this value area that is down at 2165 and all the way down to 2120.50. The election brought us down there, and then we popped. We accepted value just before we broke out at 2158.50. Then we broke out, and that's where I started my microcomposite on the breakout day with the price acceptance at 2172.50, first balance area. Then we move up, next balance area, accept price higher at 2183.75, and then move up. And then we have this 2195.75 area that became balanced, and then we moved up, and then we were trying to hold value up here at 2207. They couldn't. They come all the way back down to near that 2183. They actually held the CLVN at 85.75, and then accepted value at the 90.25, and then we gap up and we come up and we try to make a new high. Can't quite get there. Get to 2213 in the Globex. We got to 2212 in the RTH. So we still have this unequalized high, and they shifted the microcomposite VPOC from the 99.50 up to 2203. We talked about that in the room, and we said with this shift we're likely to go up and try to take out that high. Didn't quite make it. Now we have this area around the 2207, which we seem to be chopping around right now from where they tried to hold value. I'm actually going to bring this profile in here. I'm going to bring it over. I just want to see if it shifts. Whoops. Actually, I'm going to bring the whole thing in really. So it's bringing in the value microcomposite at the same as the longer time frame, so I can get rid of that profile and redraw my profile. Come on. Just so that I remember that 2207 area. And currently right now we're trading 2209. The close from yesterday was 2210.50. Came down and held the 07 area and chopping around. So keys to keep an eye on is that 2207, more importantly the 2206 and a quarter, 0650. That's that LVN from the distribution, the upper and lower distribution. And then below that, balance is down here at 2203.50. This is still very blunt here. So we're likely to see some more chop around here if we can't break and go and get back and continue price discovery up above the 2213, and likely do that on some news if that happens. If we do not hold the 2203.50, look for them to come down and test the 99.50 again, and then I'll be watching for this microcomposite VPOC if it shifts down, and how the price is accepted or handled with any shift of the microcomposite VPOC back down to 99.50. Key line in the sand today is the 21.97. Remember, we've got that gap zone right here as well, and then anything below 97, I'm looking for 95.50, and then ultimately coming down and testing that 21.91.75 and the 90 area. This is going to become a zone right here. I'm really paying more attention to the 90.50, but I'm going to be first looking for a rejection down here at 21.91.50. And then our key support is 85.75. Anything below 85.75, I'm really thinking that we're going to get a bigger move back down towards this 72 and possibly come all the way back towards the microcomposite VPOC, that is down at the 21.53 area, 53.25. So that's the big picture look. Let's take a look at the overnight. Overnight, we opened up at the 22.06.25. We moved our way down, and then we held the value area from yesterday. That's my wrong, sorry. That is not my Globex. Describing yesterday. So we opened up at 22.10.25, went and we were banging on this 1150, the where we shifted the VPOC, and they couldn't get above it, so they rotated it down. And where'd they come down to? Remember I said to watch that 2208, a lot of 0850, 0875 area. We had a lot of volume going off there before they finally made the move up to the 2212. Found buyers down there again, then we rotate up and we break that 1150 by 2 ticks, test the the high from yesterday, put in a double top, come back down to the VWAP, and then we bounce and we go up and we hit the 2213. We bang on it 4 times, couldn't get it, rotate back down, and then we try to make another attempt. We have a 1 tick lower fractal, and then that's when Europe took us down, and we rotated all the way down to this LVN right here at the 22.06 and a quarter, and bounced so far, and now we're chopping around at 22.08. So good example of levels playing out in the Globex. Overnight, our overnight high is obviously 3 ticks, I should say, above below the all-time high. Our overnight low is just above the LVN at 22.0675, and sitting right on yesterday's IB high. Our VPOC is not likely to shift. It's 22.11 and a quarter, which is 1 tick below our VPOC shift into the closed yesterday. And then we've got this LVN zone that goes from 0950 down to 08. And I'm going to use the range from the prior day, the Monday, at 0875, 09. And there's a little bit of LVN right here at 09 and a quarter. So I'm going to use that as a trade area. Above that, they're accepting that price again at the 850, 875, and I'll be looking for a move up to close the naked close at 2212, and possibly the naked VPOC and the overnight VPOC, and obviously a move up. I really can't use the 2212 as any guidance here in terms of a level. I really have to use the 09 and hope we get pushed through because we've got a lot of volume that went off here at the 1150. So I'd be worried that we'd get a false breakout here. So I've got to front run that and just try to stay long above the 9 and a quarter area. Below that, the key level for us today, the over-under line, is going to be the overnight low and the open of yesterday's RTH, the VWAP, the midpoint, the LVN. It's all right there. Anything below that, I'm targeting the 2203, and then the range low at 2275, but I really have to incorporate the 2200 all the way down, although I will be looking for the break of the 2275 to test the 22, but the gap zone starts from 2198.75 and goes down to, oh, come on, the gap zone goes down to the 97 and a quarter. That's the range gap, and then the close gap is all the way down here. So I'll be watching this gap zone. The midpoint of the gap zone is basically 2198. And if we get inside of the prior day, so I'm using this as a trade area, if we break through it, and you have to wait till we get down below the 97 to at least get back into the prior day range. Then we've got that 95.50, and then 92.50, and the main target below that 90.50. Obviously front running it with the naked VPOC and naked close. And then we don't need this anymore, so let's get rid of that. The key area is I'm not going to use the 88 anymore. It's 88.25 is the value area low, but I'm actually, if we get down there, I'm watching the 86. Our daily ATR is running at 23.46 off of the overnight high of 22.13. Our daily downside ATR target is 21.8950. Off of the low overnight of 22.07 our upside daily ATR target is 22.3075. Okay, so that's our levels. There's not a lot of guidance above because there's not much above us. Hold on a second, excuse me for 1 second. Sorry about that. So what are our hypotheses for the day? Well, it's all going to be gauged on the 22.06 So basically, I'm looking for an open auction in range. I mean, obviously, the risk is to the upside. We do have news coming out, so we have to factor that in with the 10 o'clock news and then the oil news. But basically, I'm looking for an open auction in range, a move down, test the 22.06 either get a false breakdown, but I'm looking for responsive buyers down here and moving us up through and making a new all-time high and pushing up into towards the 22.20 area. We could get stuck in the upper distribution. It is pretty broken up and there was a lot of volume coming in. So a hypo 1B, call it, is failure to break 22.06 and then just basically chop in here and go sideways between the 13.75 and the 06.25. My hypo 2 is an open auction in range, a failure to break out or a false breakout and a move to make a new all-time high but not get much extension and then rotate us back through the upper distribution, chop around the 22.06, then fail and come down towards the 2200 and come down and test the gap zone. So hypo 2 is failure to break out, finding responsive sellers somewhere near the all-time high or in a new all-time high, and then start working our way back down, chopping at the 22.06 and then pushing through the lower distribution and coming down towards the gap zone. So that's hypo 2. Hypo 3 is a open test drive, test the range high of the day and the 22.06, fail at the 22.06, push through, come down to the gap zone, chop around here, and then get a trend day down towards the 21.8950, possibly 21.86 area and test the key line in the sand down there. Remember that the last 2 days we've had a 10-point range and an 11-point range. So we are compressing here to make another move. We just don't know if it's going to be failure and a move down or a continuation and this continuation of this rally that has been so strong. So that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.